Claressa told you that she wants to get respect early, so here we go, round one, and we'll see. Throws the right hand, missed it. Missed with another right hand. Scored with a combination right there, though. And Szabados has no place to go here.
And Shields has no problem with trading shots, even if...
On February 10th, 2017, fight fans witnessed something historic. A young woman who had already carved her name into boxing history by becoming the first American, male or female, to win back-to-back Olympic gold medals, stepped into professional ring for her very first fight on national television. Her name? Claressa Shields. And that night, under the bright lights, she faced Hungary's Szilvia Szabados in a battle that wasn't just about fists and footwork. It was about the future of women's boxing in America. Today, looking back on that unforgettable night on this date, August 21st, 2025, we can see how significant that debut truly was, not only for Shields but for the sport itself. Claressa Shields entered the ring that night with more than just gloves on her hands. She carried the weight of expectations, the hopes of a new generation of female fighters, and the attention of fans who had rarely seen women's boxing on major U.S. television. Showtime, a network known for its legendary broadcasts of boxing's greats, had made the decision to spotlight Shields in her second professional fight, an extraordinary step that underscored just how special she was.
Get respect from Shields, just for standing there as long as she has.
Some shots that you would have thought she would have been down by now.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Again, a combination.
The thing is, how much is the referee going to allow her to take them kind of shots?
Trying to fight back, but she's just being overwhelmed. Two jabs and a right hand missed. Left hand and another left hand and another left hand. At the bell.
Her opponent, Szilvia Szabados, was no stranger to the ring. Coming from Hungary, Szabados had faced tough competition and had built a reputation as a durable fighter who never backed down. On paper, she was experienced, tough, and prepared to test the American prodigy. For Shields, this was a chance not just to win, but to prove that she belonged under the brightest lights in boxing. As the bell rang in the first round, it became immediately clear that Shields was operating on a different level. Her jab was crisp, her combinations sharp, and her footwork steady. You could sense the crowd's excitement building with every punch she threw. There was a mixture of power and precision, something that separated Shields from the pack. It wasn't just raw aggression, it was calculated dominance. Szabados, to her credit, did not come to lay down. She fought back with heart, throwing punches whenever she found an opening, but Shields' speed was overwhelming. Every time Szabados tried to mount offense, Shields met her with counters that snapped the head back and reminded everyone in the arena that the American champion was in control. By the second round, the tone of the fight had shifted. Shields began pressing forward with greater confidence, landing hooks and uppercuts that drew gas from the audience. The commentary...
The next, 31-4 for Shields.
To make a pretty darn good argument.
Yes,
Most definitely.
Trying to be a little bit more patient here in the second round as good as the Shields.
Oh yeah, I don't care that she won 2 gold medals. She had to be way pumped up
Oh yeah.
coming into that first round.
3-punch combination again. And another left hand. I think that one hurt. And another left hand. Szabados is still there.
Well, Szabados' punching technique is not good.
She's trying to throw with her.
Yeah, she's trying to. She's trying to.
Commentators repeatedly emphasized her composure, her ability to maintain balance, while throwing combinations that looked like they belonged to a fighter with years of professional experience. It was astonishing to realize that this was only her second professional fight. What made the performance even more electrifying was the atmosphere in the arena. Fans understood that they weren't just watching another bout. They were witnessing the rise of a superstar. Every punch, every move, felt like a preview of what was to come. The buzz around Shields had been massive leading up to the fight, and now she was delivering on that hype in real time. Szabados tried to weather the storm, showing toughness and determination, but by the middle rounds, Shields' relentless attack was taking its toll. Body shots dug deep, forcing Szabados to back up, while clean headshots brought the crowd to their feet. There were moments when it looked as if the referee might step in, but Szabados showed incredible resilience, hanging on even when it seemed the end was near. Still, it was clear this was Shields' night. Her combinations flowed beautifully. Jab, right hand, left hook, uppercut, all delivered with speed that Szabados simply couldn't match. The commentators couldn't help but draw comparisons to some of the greats, praising Shields' poise and power, her ability to control the pace and dictate every exchange. By the time the fight reached its conclusion, there was no doubt who had won. Shields had dominated from the opening bell to the final moments, leaving no questions in the minds of fans, commentators, or critics. When her hand was raised, the crowd erupted, recognizing that they had just witnessed the beginning of something historic. This
We gotta go all the way. You understand what I'm saying? And now about that.
Here you go. Round 3 of the 6-round fight.
I'd like to see Shields pick her shots a little better. But I think she's just so pumped up, it's really hard for her to control her emotions.
That's what I
agree.
think. That's what I think, too. I think
fight wasn't just a win for Claressa Shields. It was a statement, a declaration that women's boxing belonged on the main stage, that female fighters could bring the same excitement, drama, and skill as their male counterparts. For decades, women's boxing had struggled to find consistent support in the United States, but Shields' performance that night helped to change the conversation. Looking back from today's perspective, August 21st, 2025, it's impossible to overstate how important that night was. Claressa Shields went on to become a multi-division world champion, defeating some of the best names in the sport and cementing her legacy as one of the greatest female fighters of all time. But it all started with moments like this. Her national TV debut against Szilvia Szabados. What stood out most wasn't just the dominance in the ring, but the passion and confidence Shields carried with her. She didn't just want to win, she wanted to inspire. She wanted young girls watching at home to believe that they, too, could step into the ring and command the spotlight. And that's exactly what happened. Since then, more and more women have been given the opportunity to shine on big platforms, and Shields has been at the center of that movement. For Szilvia Szabados, the fight was a testament to her courage. Few fighters would willingly step in against such a dominant opponent on such a big stage. She absorbed punishment, stood tall, and gave Shields a round she needed to showcase her brilliance. In many ways, Szabados played a vital role in the making of that historic night. The fight also underscored a broader truth. Boxing is about more than wins and losses. It's about moments that inspire, performances that resonate, and athletes who elevate the sport. Shields' national TV debut against Szabados.
She's doing well. Maybe she's not picking her shots that well, but she's throwing in combination. See the right hand landing there. Not that many jabs from her, but I think because she's had so much success landing power shots, she's concentrating on that. You see Szabados trying to answer and go toe-to-toe, but that's a hopeless task. Shields is stronger and is able to throw big shots in combination. That's maybe the best punch of the fight in round 3, a left hook from Shields.
Let's go. Hustle up over here.
so. Round 4.
But
And again, Szabados just trying to do something, but just cannot get it done. Takes 2 right hands from Shields, another right hand from Shields, and another.
It was one of those moments. It reminded fans why they loved boxing in the first place. The thrill of competition, the rise of new stars, and the electricity that fills the air when greatness takes the stage. Even now, years later, clips of the fight circulate online, drawing fans who may not have even watched it live. Young boxers study her technique, her composure, and her ability to dominate an experienced opponent in just her second professional outing. For many, this fight serves as proof that greatness doesn't wait. It announces itself boldly, unapologetically, and in front of the world. And that's exactly what Claressa Shields did on that night. She announced herself as not just a boxer, not just a champion, but as the face of a movement that would push women's boxing into a new era. From that moment on, there was no turning back. So when we remember Claressa Shields' fight against Szilvia Szabados, we don't just recall the punches thrown or the rounds fought. We remember the energy, the impact, and the promise it carried. It was more than a debut. It was a declaration that women's boxing had arrived, and that Claressa Shields was leading the charge. From that February night in 2017 to today, August 21st, 2025, the echoes of that performance still ring loud. It was a spark that lit the fire, and the fire still burns bright. Claressa Shields didn't just win a fight. She changed the game.
She does so in impressive fashion, and as we said, this is still a work in progress, but there's no telling what the ceiling is for this woman. She went out and did what she needed to do tonight. She does get a stoppage, not exactly the stoppage she might have liked, but a win is a win, and we're going to see a lot more of this lady. She's with Steve Farhood right now.
Claressa, we're pumping this up to the audience here as well. You gave the fans what they wanted, no?
Yes, I did.
Tell me, we thought you were trying very hard for a knockout, and we're maybe to start a little bit overexcited. Do you agree with that?
No. It was about respect, like I told you earlier. I wanted to go out there and show I had power, and that I wasn't scared of her or her experience first round. That's what I did.
The shots you landed, the power shots you landed were flush, absolutely flush. Were you a little bit in shock that she took those shots?
Well, I knew she was tough coming in. You know, I had watched the footage of her, and that's why I started going to the body some to take some of her power. And I was gonna get the clean shot one round, and she was gonna go, but he stopped it in the fourth. So the knockout is a knockout, so I'll take it.
What was the experience like emotionally fighting at home like this for the first time in 3 years?
Oh man, it was awesome just seeing the crowd, and I recognized so many faces and everybody. It was just it was exciting. I'm glad everybody came. I thank God for the opportunity. And I took advantage of this great opportunity once again.
You looked really loose coming in.
Thank you. I know I was. I had a great camp. We was in the back. Me and my coach were going over the game plan. He didn't say too much, but he said a few basic things, and I said, okay. So
you're going to be moved probably pretty quickly. We know that. The professional game is a little different from the amateur game. What would you like to work on? What aspect of boxing do you feel you need to improve, other than just the experience and the rounds that'll come with being a pro?
Just to know headgear. You know, she headbutted me a lot today, and the ref didn't call her for it. I guess I got to get used to it or find a different kind of defense to not get headbutted a lot.
Claressa Shields 2-0 now. Welcome home.
Thank you.
Barry.
All right, thanks very much, Steve, and thanks to Claressa Shields. And I'm here with Raul Marquez. And Raul, this is a woman